at Sugar Spun Run, we are going to be making ridiculously thick peanut butter chocolate chunk cookies. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I am so excited to be sharing another carefully tested, well-researched, and perfected recipe. These are ridiculous peanut butter cookies, thicker than anything you've ever had before, but they're not dry and cakey. They're still super tender, they melt in your mouth, and they are packed full of chocolate chunks. We're gonna chop up some chocolate for them. I think you're gonna love them. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, grab yourself a large mixing bowl, and we are going to start by combining 2 sticks or 1 cup of softened unsalted butter with 1 cup of creamy peanut butter. Now, I mention this often when I'm making a peanut butter recipe. Use classic peanut butter, even though I love natural peanut butter and often use it, for my son's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It can have an unfortunate effect on baked goods. It can make them dry and crumbly. So stick with the regular peanut butter. We'll also add 1 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar and just half a cup of granulated sugar. All right, now it's time to cream everything together until it is light and fluffy. Look at that light. My favorite mixer, my Hamilton Beach that I've been using for years, finally broke after a lot of use and many years of work. So my husband gave me a new mixer for my birthday, and I'm really loving this one. I mean, it lights up the bowl. That's a little unnecessary, but also really cool. All right, so once everything is well creamed together, we're going to add our eggs. And today we are using 1 full egg. Crack that open. Always losing some shell. Give me a second. You don't want that in your cookies. That's why we always crack it in a separate bowl, usually. And we are also going to be using an additional egg yolk. So I will just discard the white, let it drop through. We'll drop that extra yolk in, get rid of this. And we'll add a teaspoon of vanilla extract and then stir everything together until it's all combined. I love this, I love the light. Okay, this is looking pretty good, so I'm just going to slide this over here and grab another bowl for my dry ingredients. We are starting with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, adding a tablespoon of cornstarch, which is going to help keep those cookies nice and ultra thick, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and we are also going to be using a ½ teaspoon of baking soda. Now, while we want these cookies to be nice and thick, they need to have a little bit of spread to them. Otherwise, they're just going to be balls of dough that are too cakey and not very enjoyable to eat. So a little bit of baking soda is going to help them spread just enough and give them the proper texture. All right, bring back my new favorite mixer. Hopefully it lasts as long as the other one. And we are going to gradually add the dry ingredients to the wet. I like to do this in 3 or 4 parts. You don't want to add it all at once. It does become a pretty thick dough. We'll stir this in until it's completely combined. Can't do it one-handed. Almost dropped it. Man, sorry, I'm just kind of marveling. This is my first time using this mixer, and it's handling this thick dough very nicely. I will link to this one if anyone is interested. It is kind of a splurge. Like I said, it was a birthday gift to me, so. All right, now let's get to our chocolate. So for today's recipe, we are going to be chopping 8 ounces of chocolate. Yeah, you could use chocolate chips, but using chopped chocolate bars just adds an extra nice taste, and the chocolate chunks will melt in your mouth in a way that chocolate chips just won't, because they're designed not to. Which is fine in some recipes, but not this one. So I'm using Ghirardelli baking bars here. You can really use any kind you'd like. I like semi-sweet, but of course milk chocolate pairs so nicely with peanut butter if you'd like to use that instead. And I always just chop my chocolate much in the same way that I would minced garlic. So I've just stacked them on top of each other, and I'll just go over it like this. And this gives me some nice sized chunks, but it also gives me some super fine chocolatey pieces, which adds to that nice melt in your mouth texture. Like if you were to break this up by hand, you wouldn't have these same tiny melt in your mouth shards of chocolate that we're getting here. I go over it once that way, and then the opposite way. I'm so looking forward to eating these. I feel like I have a new favorite cookie recipe every day, but these are my current favorite. I think you're gonna love them too. All right, now I'm just going to fold these in by hand. It's just the best way to do it with add-ins. Just scrape them into the bowl, get all those fine pieces in there too. And I'm just going to use my spatula to fold everything together until the chocolate's nicely worked into the dough. So technically you could bake this dough immediately. However, because I want this to be super thick, I am going to chill the dough for 30 minutes before I bake it. Chilling it will help keep it from spreading more than I want it to, and it's also going to give the dough a little bit of time for the flavors to develop. So once I have all this chocolate nicely worked in, I'm just going to cover this with plastic wrap, chill it for 30 minutes, and then while it chills, I will preheat my oven to 350 degrees. All right, 30 minutes has passed, my oven is preheated, so we can grab our dough out of the fridge and we can start baking it. Now we want these to be ridiculously big, thick chocolate chip cookies, so we're going to use a ridiculously big cookie scoop. I'm actually using an ice cream scoop, and I'm going to scoop a level portion of dough. Now, if you don't have a ridiculously big ice cream scoop, this is, I'd say about a 1/3 cup of dough, maybe a little bit less than 1/3 cup. It's a nice big scoop of dough. Take this over to my parchment paper lined baking sheet, and because I want these cookies to look kind of neat and uniform, I am going to briefly roll them between my palms to make a nice round ball. We'll do a couple of these. All right, now these cookies aren't going to spread a ton, so you don't need to give them a lot of space on the baking sheet, but they will spread some, so give them a little bit of breathing room. As a rule, I like to give 2 inches of space around each ball of cookie dough. We'll take this over to the center rack of our preheated oven, where they're going to need to bake for about 13 to 14 minutes. Don't overbake them or they're going to be rock hard. We want them to be super soft in the center. Another good indicator that your cookies are done baking is that the edges may be beginning to turn a light golden brown. You don't want to let them get too dark in color though. We'll let these cookies cool in the baking sheet completely before we dig in. While they're still warm, they're going to be pretty underbaked in the centers and super soft and a little bit fragile. All right, this pan is still ever so slightly warm on the bottom, but you guys know I can't wait to dig in to a super delicious cookie, so I'm gonna go ahead. I think you will really enjoy this recipe. Very easy to make. You can see they are perfectly golden on the bottom without being too dark. Really think you're going to love this one. Oh, and a pinch of sea salt on the top is a really, really nice way to just completely take them over the top. If you guys tried this recipe, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I always love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. These are so amazing. Check out that lighting. I'm gonna talk here. Are you done marbling over your chicken? I mean, can you tell? Like, not a good idea to do that. Don't do that. How many times have I broken a bowl on camera?
I don't remember once.
Yeah, at least once.